Good day, everyone. Good day, family. Today we will be reading Psalm 56, verse 8, which says, talking about God, that He keeps track of all our sorrows. He has collected all my tears in His bottle. He says, You have recorded all of them in your book. That God keeps record. He keeps, He has data of all. He has a backlog that collects all of our tears, all of our sorrows. In other words, God knows what we are all going through. That's in Psalm 56, verse 8. It says, You keep track of all my sorrows. In other words, God is not ignorant of the things that we are going through in our lives. God is not ignorant of the sufferings and that disappointment that you have gone through in that relationship that you've invested in for like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 7 years, and looks like it's crumbling, looks like all that you have put in your time, your energy, your effort, your money, you've invested in all of those sorrows. God is not ignorant of them. Why? Because He cares about you. God cares about every single one of us. God cares about me. He cares about you listening, like you listening. God is not some guy who just wants you to just do His will, who just wants you to just serve Him, but doesn't care about you. God is not that like the boss that just wants you to just get His work done, but doesn't really care about you. No emotional intelligence. God is the one who created you. He knows every feelings that you go through. He knows the tears that you cry. He knows the pains that you go through. He even knows when we are sick. He spoke, speaking of Jeremiah, he said, I knew you before you were formed. Excuse me. I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. God knows every tear that you shed. He's keeping account of every wrong that anyone has ever done to you. And guess what? He's not doing it to get angry at them. He's doing it to repay you. Do you understand? There's such a thing called the judgment of God, where God looks at all the things that you have gone through, and in the time of judgment, He comes to pay you. Not necessarily going to deal or kill the person that was wronged you, because He's a God of love, but He channels that uh, bad situations that you've gone through in your life, and then He turns it for your good. Amen. So that's the God we serve, one who's caring, who understands. It says we do not have a high priest that is not touched by the feelings of your infirmities. In our lives, there's a lot of things that we go through. The heartbreaks, there are maybe the death of a loved one, of a child that you so much at hope on. Some families, some folks, they have just one child, and then gets after investing so much, some evil just happens and maybe the child is gone. Like, how heartbroken can that be? Listen, God is able to make all grace abound in you. And that's the message I want to bring to you listening to me today. It's not over. It's not over. Remember, Abraham had a child at the age of 90-ish, if I'm not mistaken. Do you understand? So anything is possible when comes to God. There's a saying that says, what God cannot do does not exist. And it is true. When you believe that God really loves you and cares about you, you open up your heart for Him to do with you and with your life what He has proposed you for, what He wants. So when you make room for Him, then He has access to actually actualize His true dreams for your life. You see, and it is very important. He cares so much about every minutest detail of your life. He cares about your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. In fact, whatever it is that you're going through, He cares about you, not only you, but also your kids, your spouses, your friends, your job, your business, your career. God cares about it. But when we just live our lives as though God is just someone who doesn't really care about you, then that's not where you want to be. God will vindicate you. That accusation, I'm speaking to someone right now, that false accusation in the place of work, the neighborhood or the community, that wrong impression and that's the wrong tag that's been on you by some branding of what you didn't do, some negative brand, you know, God is able to vindicate you. And this is what we see in the book of Psalm 56, that God keeps track of all the things that you've gone through. God is not keeping track of them to kill the other person. Let's take note of that. God is keeping the track to say, hey man, hey child, I see what you're going through and I'm going to come through for you. So this is just to encourage you today, wherever that you are in the world, whatever year that you get to see this video, God cares about you. For God so loved the world that if he could die for you, then he will definitely do anything to make you smile, because you're his child. Bless you. Think about this. Think about this.